So I have an article again where we're talking about women in video games and how these women aren't treated fairly and how there should be more women in video games. I gotta tell you, man, this article, it's women in video game development in 2017, a snapshot. Thoughts on working in games from a broad cross-section of women in the industry. Oh, what is this? A white male talking about women in an industry? Trigger. No, that's stale joke. All jokes aside, we're serious here. We're talking about women in the video game industry, and I gotta tell you, this article paints a picture where they are saying that there should be more women in the video game industry because, quote unquote, there's only 22% of women in the video game industry. So yeah, unique yet familiar. So they are genderless. Wait a minute, they're genderless. I thought you just said, why do only 22% of women currently constitute it? Yeah, there's a few minor problems with this article, few issues. Several months ago, Lucy O'Brien asked 55 female non-binary game development professionals around the world. So, okay, I understand that this is a gender political discussion here, and this is a very extensive read, and it has a lot of quotes and questions and answers from women, generally speaking, who are developing in the video game industry. Why do you feel the need to slap on non-binary game development professionals, then later on cement this point in saying they are genderless, but then say, so why do women currently constitute 22% of video game industry? If you're gonna play genders, if you're gonna play gender politics here, if you're gonna try and say, oh, we're gonna get everyone, we don't want to exclude anyone, we don't want any trans people feeling like they're being excluded, then why are you trying to make the argument that only 22% of women make up the video game industry? It's just a very weird thing to start the article out at, looking at and trying to figure out. Now, this is a very lengthy read, so I'm only going to hit on a few points because I'm going to utterly end up just repeating myself over and over and over again. In 2017, where the industry is being more progressive, or at least under more scrutiny than ever, the gender split amongst gaming professionals needs to be probed. Why does it need to be probed? Why? Why does it need to be probed? You know, we're talking about game developers, and already out the gate, we're asking very serious questions and making serious statements. It needs to be probed. Not only with the eye of question of why it exists. Why does the gender split exist? Why are you making the argument in the previous paragraph that only 22% of women currently constitute the video game industry, and that's a question you're trying to allude to, making people wonder why there's only 22% of women in the video game industry, if you're just going to go on and talk about why does the gender split even exist? It's only in your benefit if the male gender split of the side goes down and the women gender split goes up, because to people who write articles like this, it's not a unisex. It's not people are people. It's here's why women need to be more involved in video games, and I'm going to get you a bunch of developers to talk about their personal experiences growing up, and look at how horrible this is for them, and you shouldn't end up like this. You should take our advice, and you should become video game programmers instead of doing what we did. Okay, there's some rough stories in here. There's no questioning that. I mean, there's people saying, hey, you know, I discovered when I wanted to play video games at the very beginning, when I was, you know, playing Kirby, I was discovering Hyrule for the first time. You can go through here. They're talking about Amstrad computers, they're talking about IBM computers, they're talking about computers from the 80s, alright, stuff like that. They're talking about playing video games like Donkey Kong Country Racing, Donkey Kong 64, things like that, and this is what inspired a lot of young girls to move into the video game industry. And hey, thumbs up to you. But they're also talking about how it was very difficult at first, because a lot of them didn't even know the video game industry actually existed. Like, hey, I had no idea I could actually make a living off of developing video games. And hey, are you ready for this? Are you ready? Shocker, I didn't know that either until I was a little bit older. So we're in the same camp here, but yeah, they're talking and continuing on and painting the picture of these horrible experiences. One woman went on to cite that she wasn't pretty enough to be involved in TV, and it turned her off of media and female interest for stuff like that. And they were saying that video games and devs in video games, they don't have a massive female interest. Another one was talking about how she was supposed to be presented in a certain way and not be playing video game consoles in her underwear. Okay, great, wonderful, I get this. This is all great and good. And you're presenting and painting the picture that men can do it and it's a-okay for guys to do it, but women can't do it because they are expected to do something. They are expected to become something completely different. Well, let me tell you what I was expected to become. I was expected to be a factory jockey. I was expected to go out and get a wife, have a family, and work back-breaking labor jobs 9 to 5. Do you know in my town, do you know that the music programs, the art programs, all of the electives, band, anything else, was essentially gutted and sacrificed in favor of my football team? Okay, do you not understand that this isn't just a men-dominated field because men are encouraged to do it? While that may apply in certain situations, in certain areas, for most of America, from me talking to people that were in the army, from me being around people around the world, different states, different countries even, people view video games as just that, a game. Something silly, something not serious. So whether you're male or female, do you know what's going to happen to you? You're going to be looked at very jaded. People are going to say, oh, you're going to go develop video games? Good luck, you know. You're going to be poor, you're going to be a starving artist. And that same principle applies to art, music, anything outside of the conventional. Oh, but if you go play football and you try to be a professional football player, ain't no one gonna say nothing bad to you unless you're not paying your bills. If you have a job on the side and you're trying real hard to become a professional football player, or if you're playing very serious in high school, nobody is going to down you for playing football as long as you're graduating, as long as you're making the grades. But if you're sitting there and you're very serious about, let's say, chess, okay, ain't no one gonna take you seriously, man. Ain't no one in the world going to sit here and say to you, oh, yeah, you've got a real potential future career in doing chess. Especially not around where I'm at. Have these things happened in the past? Absolutely. We have chess masters, we have artists, we have musicians. But for every single one person who made it, I'm willing to bet that there's probably over 100,000 people who were discouraged out of wanting to do what they wanted to do. Their dream, their job, essentially what they ended up wanting to do, they were discouraged from it. And that's what this article boils down to. This article focuses on 3 main points. That there are not enough women in the video game industry, that women are being discouraged at an early age from becoming video game programmers and designers and developers, and also that there's the media that is completely against them. This article also doesn't take into context and into account that there are many countries around the world that also develop for video games. Really, it is dependent on the individual. See, if you're in like Japan or something, if you're in China, if you're in some countries that really don't care, man, they don't have the gender politics that America has. They don't have the issues and the problems that America has. Even some of the more third world countries where people are in a caste system, some people are considered really down low, you know. What would you say to them? How could you even have a gender politics video game industry discussion with them? You couldn't. So instead of having this discussion, about women and non-binary and game development professionals, maybe you should start having the conversation of why is there still a negative stigma on video games in 2017? Maybe it's clickbait articles written by websites like Polygon. Maybe it's because esports professionals are getting banned and suspended for doing horrible, heinous actions, breaking TOS. Maybe they're getting caught cheating. Game consoles being sold out and scalped onto the market. Like this is serious, man. This is real serious. The video game industry produces billions of dollars, but we still have people acting like children in the video game industry. You know, there's sex scandals. There's pedophilia accusations that come out, especially recently with Hollywood actors being accused, all the way up to senators and things like that. And this extends over to the video game industry. Anyone remember Gamergate? Yeah, man. So we have a video game stigma because of the things that have happened for the last 30 years. Not because there's only 22% of women in the industry. Oh, excuse me, non-binary game developmental professionals / women. I grew up in the 90s. Things went a little bit differently with me. Maybe I could have been a game developer. But I was so discouraged from becoming a game developer, I gave up that dream. Because I thought I would never be able to do it. So maybe in the future, I'll become a game developer. Who knows? This article has inspired me to start developing my own game. So I'm off to learn C++, Java, and RPG Maker. We're gonna code some games, and I'm gonna go ahead and take this over to my daughter because I encourage my daughter to play video games and be herself. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Dad of the Year award goes to me. Anyways, leave yourselves a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Leave yourselves a dislike if you didn't enjoy it, and some constructive criticism. I want everyone to know that, male or female, you all have the opportunity to become a gaming developer if you have the knowledge and the motivation to learn. All it takes is a little bit of willpower and a lot of luck. But you can develop games. Even you. I'll see you guys next time. You guys have yourselves a great day. I've been here as Protomario. I'm signing out. As always, good gaming. God bless. And thank you for watching.